Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Queens of the Stone Age. Queens of the Stone Age is an American rock band formed in 1996 in Palm Desert, California. The band's lineup includes founder Josh Homme, alongside longtime members Troy Van Leeuwen, Michael Shuman, Dean Fertita, and recent addition Jon Theodore. Formed after the dissolution of Homme's previous band, Kyuss, Queens of the Stone Age developed a style of riff-oriented, heavy rock music. Their sound has since evolved to incorporate a variety of different styles and influences, including working with ZZ Top member Billy Gibbons and steady contributor Mark Lanegan. Formation and debut album. After the breakup of his previous band, Kyuss, in 1995, Josh Homme briefly joined Screaming Trees as a touring guitarist, before deciding to form a new band, Gamma Ray. In 1996 they released the eponymous Gamma Ray EP, featuring Born to Hula and If Only Everything. The EP featured Matt Cameron of Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, Van Connor from Screaming Trees, and percussionist Victor Indrizzo. Gamma Ray changed their name in 1997 after the German power metal band Gamma Ray threatened to sue. The name, Queens of the Stone Age, came from a nickname given to Kyuss by their producer, Chris Goss. Homme said of the name of Kings would be too macho. The Kings of the Stone Age wear armor and have axes and wrestle. The Queens of the Stone Age hang out with the Kings of the Stone Age's girlfriends. When they wrestle, rock should be heavy enough for the boys and sweet enough for the girls. That way everyone's happy and it's more of a party. Kings of the Stone Age is too lopsided. The first release under the Queens of the Stone Age name was the song 18 AD, released on the compilation album Burn One Up. Music for Stoners, which featured members of the Dutch stoner rock band Beaver. The band's first live appearance was on November 20, 1997, at OK Hotel in Seattle, Washington, with Cameron on drums, Mike Johnson of Dinosaur Jr. on bass, and John McBain of Monster Magnet on guitar. In December that year, the band released a split EP, Kyuss, Queens of the Stone Age, which featured 3 tracks from the Gamma Ray sessions as well as 3 Kyuss tracks recorded in 1995 prior to their breakup. Queens of the Stone Age released their self-titled debut in 1998 on Stone Gossids and Regan Hagar's label Loose Groove Records, and on vinyl by Man's Ruin Records. Homme played guitar and bass on the album, Alfredo Hernandez on the drums, and several other contributions by Chris Goss and Hatch. Homme reportedly asked Screaming Trees vocalist Mark Lanegan to appear on the record, but he was unable due to other commitments. Soon after the recording sessions were finished for the album, former Kyuss bassist Nick Oliveri joined and touring commenced, with a band consisting entirely of ex-Kyuss members. Guitarist Dave Catching joined shortly after. From this point forward, the band's lineup would change frequently. By the time their second album was being recorded, Hernandez was no longer in the band. Rated R. 2000's Rated R featured a myriad of musicians familiar with Homme and Oliveri's work and crew, of sorts, among others, drummers Nick Lucero and Gene Troutman. Guitarists Dave Catching, Brendan McNichol, and Chris Goss contributed, and even Judas Priest frontman Rob Halford, recording next door, stepped in for a guest spot on Feel Good Hit of the Summer. In August 2003, the album garnered positive reviews and received a lot more attention than their debut, despite the fact that the lyrics to Feel Good Hit of the Summer were deemed by mega retailer Walmart to promote drug use, almost causing the record to get pulled from store shelves. The success of the record also earned the band notable opening slots with the Smashing Pumpkins, Foo Fighters, Hole, and a place at Ozfest 2000. It was during this time that Homme stated, during the 2001 Rock in Rio show, bassist Nick Oliveri was famously arrested after performing on stage naked, with only his bass guitar covering his dangling genitals. Oliveri apologized to officials, saying that he did not know it was a crime in Brazil. Following his work on Rated R, former Screaming Trees vocalist Mark Lanegan joined the band as a full-time member, a position he held until early 2005. Towards the end of the Rated R tour, the band's performance at the 2001 Rock am Ring Festival in Germany was, according to Homme, the worst show we've ever played, and it was in front of 40,000 people. The band decided to tattoo themselves with the starting time of the performance, Freitag 4:15, as Oliveri explained. Songs for the Deaf, mainstream exposure and Oliveri's departure. Bassist 1998 to 2004, performing with the band at the 2003 Volts Festival. Foo Fighters frontman and former Nirvana drummer, Dave Grohl, joined in late 2001 to record drums for their third album. Songs for the Deaf was released in August 2002, again featuring Lanegan, along with former A Perfect Circle guitarist Troy Van Leeuwen to the touring lineup following the album's release. Also featured on Songs for the Deaf, for the final track, Mosquito Song, were former A Perfect Circle bassist Paz Lenchenton on viola and piano and Dean Ween on guitar. Songs for the Deaf was a critical hit, and was certified gold in 2003, with sales of over 900,000. The singles, No One Knows and Go with the Flow, became hits on radio and MTV, with the former just outside the Billboard Top 40. No One Knows and Go with the Flow were also featured on the first iterations of the popular video games Guitar Hero and Rock Band. The songs for the Deaf tour culminated in a string of headline dates in Australia in January 2004. Grohl returned to his other projects and was replaced on the European leg of the tour by former Danzig drummer Joey Castillo, who joined the band full-time. After the tour, Homme fired Oliveri, as he had become convinced that he had been physically abusive to Oliveri's girlfriend, a couple years ago. I spoke to Nick about a rumor I heard. I said, if I ever find out that this is true, I can't know you, man. Homme considered breaking up the band after firing Oliveri, but found a new determination to continue. Oliveri countered in the press that the band had been poisoned by hunger for power, and that without him was Queen's light. He later softened his opinion and said, my relationship with Josh is good. The new Queen's record kicks ass. The two reportedly are still friends. And as of October 2006, Oliveri was interested in rejoining the band. Oliveri later contributed to a Queens of the Stone Age for the first time in 9 years, contributing backing vocals to the band's sixth album, like Clockwork. Lullabies to Paralyze. Alan Johannes and the late Natasha Shneider, who joined the lineup for Lullabies to Paralyze and the supporting tour in late 2004, along with 11 multi-instrumentalist Alan Johannes and remaining band members Van Leeuwen and Castillo, recorded the Queen's fourth studio album, Lullabies to Paralyze, a title taken from a Lyric Inc. Mosquito song from their previous album. The album featured guests including ZZ Top's Billy Gibbons, despite Lanegan reportedly turning down an invitation to remain with the band. He recorded vocals on new tracks, and appeared on the supporting tour as scheduling as his health permitted. Lullabies to Paralyze was leaked onto the internet in February 2005 and was aired by Triple J Radio in Australia on March 3, 2005 as an unsubstantiated world premiere. It was then officially released on Tuesday, March 22, 2005 in the US, debuting in the number 5 slot on the Billboard music chart. The greatest debut of any Queen's record until, like Clockwork, debuted at number 1 in June 2013. On May 14, 2005, the group was the musical guest on Saturday Night Live, hosted by Will Ferrell, one of Ferrell's popular Saturday Night Live characters. Fictional Blue Oyster Cult cowbellist Gene Frankel made a reappearance on the show, playing with the Queens on their first song of the night, Little Sister. Frankel played the song's woodblock part using a cowbell along with the band. On November 22, 2005, Queens of the Stone Age released a live album DVD set, Over the Years and Through the Woods, featuring a live concert filmed in London, England, and bonus features which included rare videos of songs from 1998 to 2005. In 2005, the group supported Nine Inch Nails on the North American tour of With Teeth along with Autolix and Death from Above 1979. NIN's guitarist Aaron North appeared as an onstage guest with the Queens for the songs Born to Hula, Regular John, Avon, Monsters in the Parasol, and Long, Slow Goodbye at the Wilton LG in Los Angeles on December 19 and 20, 2005. Another onstage guest for the December 20th performance was Homme's former Kyuss bandmate John Garcia. The first time that Homme and Garcia had played together since 1997. As a special encore they performed 3 Kyuss songs, Thumb, Hurricane and Super Scooper and Mighty Scoop. Homme stated that the band's lowest point was during the Lullabies era, but that the record took the lead jacket off the band following the firing of Oliveri in 2004. Era Vulgaris and death of Shneider and Josh Homme when the band performed at the Southside Festival near Tuttlingen, southern Germany, June 24, 2007 on Valentine's Day 2007. The band's official website announced the new album would be titled Era Vulgaris and would be released in June. Later in February, teaser videos surfaced showing Homme, Castillo, Van Leeuwen and Johannes in studio. Several sites reported that the album would include many guest vocalists, including Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, Julian Casablancas from The Strokes, Mark Lanegan, Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top, and deceased humorist Irma Bombeck. Death from Above 1979 bassist Jesse F. Quila had been expected to play bass on the studio recording of the album, but not to tour. However, due to schedule conflicts, he stated he would not be appearing on the album. Era Vulgaris was completed in early April 2007 and released June 12, 2007 in the US. The tracks Sick, Sick, Sick and 3S and 7S were released as singles in early June. Homme has described the record as dark, hard, and electrical, sort of like a construction worker. When asked about the vocals on the record, specifically the different style of singing that Homme used, he replied, bassist Jubilee and Mini Mansions and keyboardist Dean Fertita took over touring duties from Alan Johannes and Natasha Shneider, respectively. In July 2007, Van Leeuwen stated the band had written new material, still in its infancy, which Homme later suggested might be released as an EP. Following a subsequent interview with Homme, The Globe and Mail reported that the EP could contain as many as 10 B-sides recorded during the era of Vulgaris sessions. It was later reported that the EP would not be released due to the record label's unwillingness to put out another QOTSA release at that time, in Zilker Park. September 14, 2007. The band began a North American tour in 2007, which they named the Duluth Tour, because they were going to many small towns and cities they had never played before, such as Duluth, Minnesota. The tour was extended to other areas, such as the United Kingdom, where the band played more shows than on any of their previous UK tours. The band toured in Australia in late March to early April 2008, on the V Festival Tour, including a string of side shows. Throughout the beginning of May 2008, the band completed the Canadian leg of its touring. In November 2007, Queens of the Stone Age performed a semi-acoustic set in an underground salt mine in Germany, performing a selection of hits, rarities, covers and an unreleased song named Cathedral City. A DVD of the concert was planned, but aside from a trailer promoting the DVD and a number of photographs, no footage of the concert has been released. On July 2, 2008, Queens of the Stone Age's former keyboardist Natasha Shneider died of lung cancer at the age of 52. The news broke with a message posted on the MySpace page of the band Sweethead, of which Natasha's close friend and former bandmate Troy Van Leeuwen is a member. Otsa.com was updated with a memorial message by Homme replacing the normal front page. The band performed a concert in celebration of Natasha Schneider's life at the Henry Fonda Theatre in Los Angeles on August 16, 2008. They were joined on stage by Schneider's husband Alan Johannes, Jack Black and Kyle Gass, Matt Cameron, Brody Dahl, Jesse Hughes, Chris Goss and PJ Harvey, playing a variety of QOTSA and non-QOTSA songs, including covers of songs from bands such as Cream and The Doors, Tenacious D, and PJ Harvey also performed acoustic sets at the show. Proceeds from the concert went to defray the costs associated with Natasha's illness. On August 22 and 23, 2008, Queens of the Stone Age performed the last shows of their era Vulgaris tour at the Reading and Leeds festivals in the UK, and Josh Homme announced in an interview with the BBC and during the show that he would be returning to the studio to work on the next album. Homme's health issues, debut re-release and promotional tour. During 2009 and 2010, band members worked on side projects during the downtime. Troy Van Leeuwen started up a new band, Sweethead. Joey Castillo played 4 Eagles of Death Metal on their Heart on tour. Bassist Michael Shuman continued his work as drummer and vocalist with Mini Mansions, while Dean Fertita became the guitarist, keyboardist for Jack White's newest group, The Dead Weather. Josh Homme formed supergroup The Crooked Vultures with Dave Grohl and John Paul Jones. After The Crooked Vultures finished touring in June, the band toured and released a 2-CD deluxe edition of Rated R on August 3, 2010. This edition featured the original CD along with 6 B-sides and live recordings from the band's Reading performance in 2000. In autumn 2010, Homme suffered from a botched knee operation during which his heart stopped for a short time due to asphyxiation. Doctors had to use a defibrillator to revive him. Following this, he was bedridden for 3 months and plunged into a deep depression, during which he considered giving up his music career altogether. He elaborated on this experience further in an interview with Mark Maron, explaining that he had contracted a methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus infection which his immune system could not fight due to stress. Homme has since said that the experience contributed greatly to the writing and recording of Like Clockwork. After Homme recovered, Queens of the Stone Age released a remastered version of their self-titled debut album in early 2011, and performed the album in its entirety in a promotional tour. The band performed on Conan on April 14, and later played at the Australian music festival Soundwave. Throughout the summer of 2011, the band appeared at various European festivals, including the Glastonbury Festival in Somerset, UK. They also played at Pearl Jam's 20th anniversary festival at Alpine Valley in East Troy on September 3 and 4, 2011, which would be the last with drummer Joey Castillo. Like Clockwork. Plans to record a follow-up to Era Vulgaris had been mentioned since 2008, but recording would not begin until August 2012. In March 2011, Homme stated, "Doing the rehearsals for the first record is really defining the new one. It's been turning the new record into something else. What we were doing was bluesy, and now it's turned into this trancey, broken thing. The robots are coming home." According to Homme, the album would be finished by the end of 2012. He explained to BBC Radio 1, "We're going to take our one last break that we would get for a month, come back and do Glastonbury, then immediately jump in the studio. Our record will be done by the end of the year. We have enough songs." In November 2011, frequent collaborator Alan Johannes stated in regard to his studio work with the band, "We had a late night with Queens of the Stone Age again. Just putting in days, super top secret, but it's going to be amazing. I'm really excited about it. Once we start the process, it goes to completion. So I can't say exactly when, but it's a really good start." On August 20, 2012, the band stated via a Facebook status update that they were recording their new album. In September 2012, it was revealed that Homme and producer Dave Sardi co-wrote and recorded a song entitled "Nobody to Love," which is featured during the end credits of the film End of Watch. In November 2012, Homme informed BBC's Zane Lowe that Joey Castillo had left the band, and that drums on the new album would be performed by Dave Grohl, who also performed on songs for the deaf. Homme also confirmed with Lowe that the album would be released prior to their performance at the Download Festival in June 2013. In addition to Grohl, other former members contributing to the album include former bassists Nick Oliveri and Johannes, and vocalist Mark Lanegan. A number of collaborations from different musicians were announced for Like Clockwork, including Nine Inch Nails frontman Trent Reznor, Scissor Sisters frontman Jake Shears, Brody Dalle, and Elton John. In early 2013, Homme and fellow Queens contributors including Alan Johannes and Chris Goss recorded to the soundtrack of Dave Grohl's Sound City, Reel to Reel. Goss, Johannes, and Homme were on 3 tracks each. Josh has notably included a collaboration with Grohl and Trent Reznor called Mantra, and he was also featured in the film in an interview segment. Goss and Johannes were both featured members in the Sound City Players, playing Masters of Reality 11, and Desert Sessions songs, as well as their pen tunes from the soundtrack. Former Kyuss bassist Scott Reeder also contributed to the soundtrack. In March 2013, Queens of the Stone Age announced that the new album, entitled Like Clockwork, would be released in June 2013 on Matador Records. A press release, issued by Matador at 9 a.m. EST on March 26, 2013, revealed further details of the album, including further guest appearances, Alex Turner of Arctic Monkeys and UNKLE's James Lavelle. In addition to Grohl's contribution, the record also features performances by former drummer Castillo, as well as tracks by new drummer Jon Theodore. Queens of the Stone Age premiered a new song, My God Is the Sun, at Lollapalooza, Brazil on March 30, 2013, a performance in which Theodore made his live debut. The studio version of the song premiered on Lowe's BBC Radio 1 programme on April 8, 2013. Like Clockwork was released on June 3, 2013 on Matador Records in the UK, and on June 4 in the United States. Self-produced by the band, it is the first Queens of the Stone Age album to feature full contributions from bassist Michael Shuman and keyboardist and guitarist Dean Fertita. The album debuted in the #1 position in the US, and is the first QOTSA album to achieve this ranking, following a performance by QOTSA at the Jay-Z-owned Made in America festival in the summer of 2013. Homme made comments about the rap star during a radio interview with CBC Radio 2's Strombo show. Homme explained that his band was frisked by the event's security team prior to the performance, and referred to Jay-Z's personal interaction with the band as a marketing stunt. Homme stated, the Like Clockwork tour culminated with a Halloween party at the Forum in Los Angeles, featuring guests such as The Kills, J.D. McPherson, and Nick Oliveri's band Uncontrollable. The band's performance featured an appearance from Oliveri, who played songs with them during the encore set, including songs such as Autopilot and Quick and To the Pointless, which had not been performed in a decade. Villains. In January 2014, Homme stated in the Rolling Stone magazine that the band would start recording a new album when they finished their tour for Like Clockwork. In June 2014, Homme performed a solo acoustic show at James Lavelle's Meltdown Festival, featuring guest performances from Troy Van Leeuwen and Mark Lanegan. During this gig, Homme played a new song called Villains of Circumstance, which was performed again at another acoustic set in 2016. The band indicated in February 2015, when it was announced there to play Rock in Rio 2015 in Rio de Janeiro in September, that they were about to record a new album. Despite this, in March 2016, Michael Shuman revealed that the band were on a break. During this period, the members of the band worked on various other projects. Josh Homme and Dean Fertita contributed to Iggy Pop's 2016 album Post-Pop Depression and subsequent tour, while Troy Van Leeuwen joined the rock supergroup Gone Is Gone with plans to release an EP and a studio album. In May 2016, Van Leeuwen announced plans to record Queens of the Stone Age's 7th studio album sometime this year. In January 2017, Troy Sanders from Mastodon and Gone Is Gone stated that Queens of the Stone Age will release a new album later in the year. Following this, the band posted several photos on social media featuring their studio, and announced that they would be performing at the Fuji Rock Festival in July, their first performance in Japan since 2003. The band updated their social media accounts with a new logo and the words, Coming 25, on April 6, 2017, and announced a tour of Australia and New Zealand to begin in July. On June 14, Queens of the Stone Age officially announced their new album Villains is to be released on August 25, 2017. The teaser trailer took the form of a comedy skit featuring the band performing a polygraph test with Liam Lynch and featured a snippet of the song, Feet Don't Fail Me. The first single, The Way You Used to Do, was released the following day, along with the announcement of a world tour. Musical style. Throughout its career, the band has been described as alternative rock, stoner rock, alternative metal, and hard rock. Homme has described the band's self-titled debut album as driving music, angular and recorded dry, with the album featuring solid and repetitive riffs in its song structure. Rolling Stone magazine also noted a connection between American meat and potatoes macho rock of the early 1970s, like Blue Cheer and Grand Funk Railroad, and the precision timing drones in German rock of the same period. The band's following album, Rated R, contained a wider variety of instruments, several recording guests, and lead vocals shared by Homme, Oliveri and Lanegan. Homme has also commented that, "Our first record announced our sound. This one added that we different and weird." The band continued to experiment on their third album, Songs for the Deaf, which also featured a lineup including 3 lead vocalists, many guest appearances, and wide range of instrumentation, including horn and string sections. Homme has described Lullabies to Paralyze as a dark album, which includes imagery inspired by the Brothers Grimm folk and fairy tales. In 2005, Homme explained, "Where the poetry seems to be is when you start in the dark and reach for the light. That's what makes it not depressing to me." The album changed gears from the band's previous distinct, driving sound, much due to the departure of longtime member Nick Oliveri. The band almost exclusively used semi-hollow body guitars during the making of the record. With era Vulgaris, the band continued to develop their signature sound, with more dance-oriented elements and electronic influences, while Homme has currently gone back to being the only lead vocalist in the band, and uses more distinct vocal melodies. Homme has on numerous occasions described their music as rock versions of electronic music, stating that he takes inspiration from the repetitive nature of electronic trance music along with various forms of dance music, hip-hop, trip-hop and krautrock. This heavy rock style mixed with the structure of electronic music has been dubbed by Homme as robot rock in an interview with Kuno TV at the Roskilde Festival 2001. In an interview for the Guitar Moves series, Homme revealed aspects of his distinctive guitar playing style. He demonstrated the Josh Homme scale, which he claimed was the result of years playing and altering the blues scale. His scale bears a resemblance to the Lydian dominant scale. Thank you for watching. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.